Colin Farrell and Lauren LeFranc. Let's give it up for this group again one more time.
I'm glad that there's a chair. I mean, a table between rooms here.
Let me know if you want me to drink for you as well.
How are we feeling out here? I know you guys have been talking about this show for a long time, and it's paid off with all of these Emmy nominations. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Lauren, I want to start with you. Let's talk about diving into this world and introducing both new characters and bringing back to life characters that we know and love, and what that process was like for you.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it was really interesting for me to get to, first of all, I had the opportunity to read Matt's script, and he was editing the film, and then eventually I was able to see what Colin was doing. He showed me the first 40 minutes of the movie, and I was like, who's that guy? But I was just so impressed by what Colin was doing, and it really was inspirational for me in terms of digging into his background and his psychology, and from there started to think about Oz and his mother, and you know, that he really wanted to be revered by the masses, but most of all, he wanted to make his mother proud. And I also knew they should have a sort of distorted, slightly edible relationship, which on and off camera maybe was happening, I don't know. And then, you know, got to build out RHENZY, Victor, and the character of Sophia, who, by the way, Kristen wishes she could be here today. She's traveling, and she's so sad that she can't make it, but, you know, she's thrilled that we're up here representing, and we'll see her again soon.
We won't talk about her.
Yeah, don't talk about
Don't talk about her. Well, Deirdre, let's talk a little about that, about the mother-son relationship. How did you guys form the chemistry you have? Because it is a pretty wild, complex relationship on screen.
I think we were struck by lightning, kind of. We were very, very lucky in that we looked at each other and went, oh, I see, I get it. We were really blessed that way, so we didn't have to do a whole lot of conversation about it. But it was also one of those things that Lauren had really dug deep, and she had really found not only how the relationship worked when we find them in the story, but why it works that way, like 5 layers down. A lot of times as an actor, you kind of have to do those other 4 layers down, and that was all stuff that she had already gotten in there. So it was just about, you know, making that blue bubble. So we were each our own kind of finding that, I think, and finding all the technical aspects of it. And then, as soon as these two people, him with his full regalia on, met, I think we were like, oh, that's exactly what I've been, you know, making in my own spirit, is that I'm that guy's mom. It somehow was just lucky that way. It doesn't always work that way. You can sort of go back in and create that by finding yourselves doing homework together and stuff, but we were just blessed by a kind of, oh, game on vibe that happened to us immediately.
Colin, what about for you?
Same.
But it was partly that we got to mess with him.
Yeah.
So I think we were very bonded through
like,
oh, and we're gonna totally mess with him.
But it was, what's he saying, all counts. What Lauren created had such a depth to it, and it just was a call back to the kind of power that our childhoods have and the rest of our lives, those formative years, and particularly the relationship that boys have with their mothers and how formative they are. And as Lauren said as well, as much as Oz was looking outward into the world for, you know, a sense of reverence, to be guided back to him, and a sense of power that he could move through the world with, because he was so physically incapacitated for his whole life. It was his mother that was the biggest gift for me as an actor, was the relationship that Lauren designed between Francis and Oz. It was in every breath of Oz as a man in the world, regardless of whether he was with Christian's wonderful Sophia or any of the Falcons. But it was the first time I met Dee Dee was in costume and in the full thing. And we did a camera test and it was just fucking off to the races. She looked at me, I looked at her. They had a necklace there that day. It was just a camera test. It was about 2 weeks before we started shooting. And I put the necklace around her neck and the two of us did a little improv together and we hadn't met before. And I remember going home that night and saying to my sister, this is going to be a blast. This woman is just amazing. It's going to be a blast. And I really, the more I do this thing for a living or whatever hobby/living, the more I feel that the other actors you're working with write a lot of your performance. Like if you trust the actors you're working with and you've done your own homework, then you just give it over to them and they just give back to you so much. And that was exemplified on this experience, you know, with Dee Dee, with RHENZY. I worked so much with RHENZY. Kristen I didn't work as much with as you feel the relationship exists in the piece. You know, there was a kind of a divergence at a certain point and she goes off into her world building and I go off into my world building. But RHENZY I was with every day and just what a dance partner he was as well. He did so much of the work for me in how he responded to Oz and how he was open to the kind of interconnectedness of what was a very real friendship, regardless of how it ended in episode 8. Don't judge. Judge, I mean.